Morning, or whatever time you're watching this. But this morning, Saturday, before we go to T-ball, I had to try to work on this next pig paddock I'm setting up. So I'm out here in this really overgrown area and try to get everything set up. Got the T-post in, temporary post. Let's go set up a few more with some insulators on them. Pretty thick back in here, so far I've not needed a chainsaw. Just been using the old loppers. Probably one of my most used tools out here. Man, it gets thick. I'm definitely gonna tell them I need a weeder before I have to put the wire on. But I got briars. So I'm really hoping I can leave them in this paddock once we get it set up. Just leave them here for a good long while and let them really clear this out. They've got a pretty good area to work with. And I don't know if you can see over there, they got a pretty good grass area beyond these little trees right in here. So the other corner T-post set up down here. This is next to our bee yard and chestnut orchard. I should say starter chestnut orchard. I think we only got 8 chestnuts out there right now. Some may or may not be alive. And just on down here, as you can see, snooping and pooping through the woods this morning. Maybe not snooping so much, it's pretty loud. Anyways, I got some old farm stuff down here. Not even sure. My guess is these were feeders of some kind back in the day. We'll run the wire all through here. Once it's set up, then I just got to maintain it and try to keep the foliage off of it so it doesn't short out. Oh, some good filming right there. It's an action shot. It's a little bit more of the grass area up here. Got some old farm implement down here. Not even sure what that was. It looked like I pulled along, there was a seat on there. You get these wheels back here, kind of interesting. Under this cedar tree we go, though. I mean, gosh, this had trees growing up around it. Look at that. Pretty wild. If anybody knows what this is, feel free to drop it down in the comments, because I sure don't. I'm not taking the time to try to figure it out either. A little bit more of it down there. Alright, so anyways, finishing up. Down to here. Here. This will be the next gate. And then I just run the other ones up along the barn to the gate up there, and that's where I'm going to let them in here at. So as I pan to the left, that's where I've got to finish running the stakes at. And then the next will be the wire. Then trim it up to make sure nothing's touching it. Shore this gate up and we'll be good to go. So really close to the beehives there. I don't know if you can see them right over here through the trees. Anyways, there's my furthest one. And if you can see the blue back there, that's the other hive. So tomorrow will be Sunday, Mother's Day, and that's the first inspection. Since they've been here almost a week, and I'm pretty excited about that to see how they've been doing. I'm gonna swap out some feeders. I've got kind of open feeders, and I did peek in there and noticed that there were some drowned bees, so it's a shame on me. Let's go to a little wider angle there. So hopefully these frame feeders will take care of them better. But anyhow, let me show you what these pigs have been up to. One reason I got to get them moved. Of course, it's always kind of a pain with the water and the food at this point. Me being such a rookie and all, still got to do things the hard way. One more T-post here. I just heard one of the pigs. So they're still in this last paddock is set up over here next to the barn. There they are. Morning. You'll have a nice breakfast. We still don't have names for them. Probably won't, with the intent to make them a breakfast product, and maybe some ribs or brisket, pulled pork, whatever. Bacon and sausage. One of them got pretty brave the other day, or it was inadvertent and they touched the wire, but sounded like they backed off pretty good, so glad to know it still works. I would love to get down to a single strand. That would save me a lot of time in running it, but at this point I'm just not so confident in wanting to do that. I moved their little pig house over here yesterday. Try to get them to do a bit more rooting over here and spend some time cleaning this mess up. Gets pretty wild and nasty over here. I was really hoping they'd take care of a bit more of this. So they've got down there some, but it seems like they still really enjoy the grasses. Right? Oh, this one taking a poop, so I won't show that. But enjoy the grasses more than a lot of the other forage and forest stuff. So I'm going to step up in here. Let me show you what they've done. So again, I'm not quite YouTube competent enough at this point to be merging old videos, but they've done a bit of rooting here. It's that beautiful pig house, but they do stay in there. Seems to provide them a bit of shelter. Getting their last main living area though, and we've had some pretty significant rains here in early May in Kentucky. They have really done a number. Now this was all really grown up last year. A good friend of mine, co-worker and mentor, came out with a skid steer and really cleaned up this old fence line. If you can see, this is old. Well, these guys are following me around, hoping I've got something for them. What's new? What's new? You want to come closer? You want to sniff this phone? Check it out. Just don't eat it, all right? Yeah, I see you. What are you doing? Hi. So at least the boy on the right, he's got a bit more of a reddish fur. And there's his sister right here. They're kind of fun to watch sometimes. They get out here and tear around a bit, have a good time. They still don't trust me though. They'll get close, but there's no petting, no pig petting. Anyways, got some pretty good divots in here. As you can see the old yard, so I guess once I get them out of here, come rake all this over. May or may not throw down some grass seed, see what happens. But at least I'll just let Mother Nature take back over and keep it mowed down. But yeah, I'll probably throw something down just to keep the soil from being bare too long. They had this nice mud hole here, and I think they were using that as kind of a supplemental drinking water / staying cool in the warm days. Their little pig house here, but they've really done a nice job cleaning up along the fence line in some of these areas. And as you can see, stepping over the wire. Here's their last pen. This was actually their first pen beyond the training pen, so things are already starting to grow back here. Soil's still a little bit rough, but it's making a comeback, so I just sprinkled some hay down there. Give it a little bit of organic stuff, but it's a nice dark brown. I don't know if we'll ever plant anything in over here. Way down there is their old training pen. And my daughter and my 5-year-old planted some flower seeds over there, so that should be nice. But we get this mowed down, it'll be a nice extra part of the yard. We got a burn pile here, we still have to burn. We're waiting on the springtime burn ban to end, and now it just needs to dry out a hair, and we'll be good to go. And please don't mind our old janky, broken down trampoline. That's what we're doing today, so I'm going to grab some more stakes, get them set up, and try to work for about 30 more minutes before I go in and get a little breakfast and then get ready for T-ball. So you folks, thanks for watching and have a great one. Okay, so before I end this video for good, I thought I'd just kind of go over something real quick and show you how I do this. Set some of this stuff up. Oh, look here. I'm going to show you this. I'm inside of one of our old barns. These all really need to come down, but looks like stick here fell on the wires. Man, I guess lucky for me, the pigs haven't decided to just jump over that. Whoa, still got some juice to it running through there. Let's use the old boot here. There we go. Yeah. All right, so now my wire's pretty loose here. Sorry. Let's see, yeah, have to get down there and tighten that up. No biggie, no biggie, it happens. Anyways, they have done a terrific job getting in here underneath this honeysuckle and clearing it up. So I decided to come in here and attempt to eradicate this honeysuckle, which is everywhere. Make it a lot easier to get in there with a chainsaw, and I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Between that and these grapevines growing up all over the place, they seem to thrive here very well. But anyways, back to the old barn, setting up these temporary posts. Pretty simple stuff, really. So get these posts. These are temporary posts I use. I just like these. They're metal. I've never used the other kinds. They make plastic kinds with like a metal bottom on them for going in the ground, but I just didn't want something that was going to break. I'd seen a lot of reviews. People said that many of them will break. So anyways, I decided to go to these $2.49 a piece, I believe. And the insulators are nothing more than these here. And this just screws in to this ring and then slides over the rebar, and then I tighten it down at the height I wanted, and bingo bango, we're in business. So if anybody's curious, that's how that works. I know there's a lot more proficient people out here, but if you're like me and didn't know anything about anything here, it's just kind of neat to see it. Actually, this stuff's mostly quite simple, I'll say so far. But just getting hands-on and learning, that's the fun part. So I'm going to set many of these up and go finish running that out. So, all right, back. It's got in the afternoon. T-ball's done. It's a good game. Sorry you couldn't made it. Anyways, back here in the pig paddock now, and I'm getting it pretty much set up. So, show you what I got. Got to come through with the weed eater. Made the loppers. Clean it up just a little bit. So let me flip this bad boy around. I did get a new phone this week, so hopefully the transition's a little bit smoother and the picture's a little bit better. But let's do this. Let's do this. All right. So I think last time I was here, we just had the stakes up. So that was this morning. It took about an hour to get all that done, and a lot of the insulators put back on. So this will be the gate I'm moving. Again, the pig house is right there. Pig palace. I'm sure there's something there catchy you can do, but obviously I got a little T-post driver, some of my leftover poly wire, and again, I'm no pro at this, so will not claim to be. I set these T-posts to try to take a brunt of the force, and from watching some videos, so I try to put them on the outside, so I definitely jacked that up. So I kind of wrapped the poly wire around a couple times there to keep the tension on it. Some really old gate here, and we're looking pretty good. Just going to come through and clean up, and man, we've got some really, it's a pretty black locust around here. I don't know how you feel about the tree, but if you've never smelt their flowers in the spring, absolutely phenomenal. Just really, really great smell. But man, they can be some pretty gnarly trees too. Check this out. This one here is just a few of these wonderful thorns. I don't know if you can see them. Let me zoom over here on the main trunk a bit. See, look at that. Whew. Judas Priest, right? That would hurt to get into. But anyways, flowers smell great. So yeah, on down the line there. You can kind of see the corner way down there. Hopefully this will be a big enough paddock to leave them for a few weeks. And I really don't care about what they do to the ground here. We never come back here, so I'm kind of hoping they'll make it a clean slate, and then maybe we can do something with it in the future. But it's just been fallow since years past. I think it was used for something. There's, fencing down this way, actual fencing, not the poly wire. And then of course I've got fencing on the other end as well. But yeah, about ready to make it happen. I'm playing with fire right now. I've got an old battery from Rural King here, and I inherited with the farm, and I've used it on my fence charger a bit in the past, but it's no longer holding a charge, it seems. So I went to Harbor Freight and bought a deep cell battery there, and kind of made for like solar panels, but apparently those will last longer than like a car battery for this kind of stuff anyways, because the pulse is just every so often from the fence charger. But so basically on their enclosure now, they have no there's no electricity going to it whatsoever. So yeah, sometimes you play with fire, but the beauty of this is once they're kind of trained to it, it seems like psychologically they're gonna not screw with it. I guess unless I get super brave. But all right, so once we go for the big move, you know, I really need to get like a GoPro or something. This is some pretty redneck stuff here, just holding the phone and talking to you folks, anybody watching at least. But I'll keep making these janky ass videos if you folks feel like watching. Real quick snippet here. Came back in the barn to get the weed eater, start cleaning that line up, and again, it's probably it's getting a little mid-afternoonish, so a little warmer today. These guys are back here taking a little nap. Pretty cute. Even though my wife doesn't think they're cute, I think it's pretty cute. Isn't that right, bud? Yeah, I see you. Having a little nap. Seems like a pretty good deal. So the gate is now open for business. I'm just going to run down here, see if they'll follow me in. I'm going to try to tap a few more of these little temporary posts down. See over here. The ground's not as wet, so they're a little harder going down. Could be on a rock, but I'm going to get that little triangular metal piece in the ground to get a bit more stability. Thankfully, my daughter's out there cutting the grass, which God needs it dearly, so I'm going to get done with this so I can do the weed eating, and then hopefully we can have a relaxing evening and get ready for Mother's Day. I think this will be the last one in this series of snippets, but gotta move. They really follow their pig house, which is just right there now. I drug that through there and got them a little bit of water over here to start with. Still kind of playing with fire in this fence charger. Daggone, my tote broke too. Just trying to carry it all over here like a knucklehead, but you can see it's holding reds. This old Rural King battery is it's not holding the charge anymore, so I guess no surprise. Just need to go quit being cheap and buy a new battery so I can alternate them. Anyways, it was working actually when I went over there to move it, so very weird, but I'm going to keep it here, try to let my other one charge up and roll the dice. But they are having a big time. Looks like they're already doing some pretty good foraging, and that's what I want. I want them to be happy little piggies out here. Ideally, you know, I'm going to feed them, but I also want them to eat a lot of this salad bar they have out here, to steal the words from the great Joel Salatin again. And then ideally, once we take these guys off for processing in the late fall, they'll come back and taste so much better. Probably have a lot less fat content as well than your stuff you buy in the store. So it's pretty exciting. Still makes me a little sad to think about, being the first time we've ever done this, and I do certainly enjoy watching. Look at that, getting a little scratch there on that rump. Yes. I'm already getting a ton of bug bites this season, so I can only imagine what they're getting. God bless them. But look at there we go. Happy pigs, and yeah, we'll wrap it up here. As always, appreciate y'all watching, for those of you that do, and yeah, I'm gonna close this old gate back here, zip tie it, and then I'm going to break that last paddock down so I can get that thing mowed up and cleaned up. And I guess that will do it. So until next time, have a great one.